Hello, and welcome to Rosetta Reviews, and the first episode of my new series, Truly Obscure Media. And by truly obscure media, the criteria will be, number one, it has to be actually obscure, and that doesn't mean something like Rocktober Blood or Microwave Massacre that everybody that collects VHS tapes, for example, is well aware of. It has to be something that's actually obscure. In addition to that, it actually has to be something professionally produced. I'm not going to count movies that were made in people's basements or songs that were recorded in the backwoods and not produced or not released. There's plenty of tapes and records and movies you can find that were made by quote-unquote nobodies. That's not what I'm talking about. I want professionally produced, professionally released things that are forgotten. And for my first episode, I want to choose one of my favorite pieces of lost media like this, Ann Magnuson's Vandemonium, or if you own the tape, you will know it as Vandemonium Plus. Ann Magnuson is the kind of celebrity that you're either wondering who she is or you're like, oh, damn, Ann Magnuson. She is... People either appreciate her or are unaware of her. That's generally speaking how she is. There's not a whole lot of people who dislike her. People that know her tend to think that she's pretty damn talented. But unfortunately, not a lot of people know her, despite her having been on numerous things throughout the years. Most recently, she was on Picard. Anyway, not here to give you a history of Ann Magnuson. You should check her out, though. I'm here to talk to you about this piece of lost media, so let's just jump right straight into it. This was released in 1987 on Cinemax, and then released the next year by HBO on VHS, which is kind of odd, but whatever. When it was released on Cinemax, it didn't do very well. It got panned by critics, and the tape didn't sell very well either, and it's extremely hard to find now. I can only find a couple of copies for sale at this moment, and they both clock in at around $500, so yeah. The film itself? Calling it a film isn't exactly fair. It's more of a TV show episode length, which is why the tape has made for TV tacked onto the end to put the runtime up to 45 minutes, so at least you'll feel like you get your money's worth. So when you press play, you get your warning screen that actually tells you to go ahead and bootleg the tape. Press record now. Okay, well, I press record on my digitizer. It starts off with Sweet Pea and Piglet, played by Ann Magnuson and Meatloaf. They're riding on a motorcycle, and she's his old lady, and they're on the way to a wet t-shirt contest to win tickets to Vulcan Death Grip.
My name's Sweet Pea, and I'm Piglet's old lady. That's Steve the Piglet, except everyone just calls him the Piglet. He's a big, hairy, tattooed monster, fat, smelly, farts all the time, but I don't know, he has a certain je ne sais quoi.
He also has PCP, lewds, Robitussin, and a gun!
As they're going, Piglet slams on the brakes, Sweet Pea flies into the painting on the side of a van, and this is when the show really takes on a whole different persona. The first place she lands is a unicorn land where everything has little horns on its head. And there's a non-specific Stevie Nicks look-alike, played by Ann Magnuson.
No, my lawyer said I can't be Stevie Nicks. I'm just a generic, non-specific look-alike.
And the non-specific Stevie Nicks look-alike and Sweet Pea have a discussion about how Sweet Pea could possibly get out of there. And, well, this comes up for the first time.
Hell, I ain't a rock star at all. I'm an old lady.
An old lady?
Not an old lady, Brillo brain, an old lady. O-L lady.
Not Stevie Nicks is also going to the wet t-shirt tractor pull Vulcan Death Grip concert, but she won't take Sweet Pea because Sweet Pea doesn't have her limo, but she changes her boots into ruby heels and then disappears.
Wow.
But wait a minute! Which way do I go? Bye. Bye.
Sweet Pea grabs a bong and tries to smoke, but her bong starts talking to her. His name is Zbigniew, and he's basically her only companion in this entire mess.
Well, one thing's for sure, I need a hit. Where's that bong?
Hey, cut that out. I said stop it.
Who said that?
I did. Howdy, ma'am. I say, my name is Zbigniew.
Okay, Zbigniew.
As they're having a discussion, they're overheard by Shirley MacLaine, once again played by Ann Magnuson. She has tickets to the concert, she says, but's too busy being so insane that Sweet Pea and Zbigniew eventually just leave. They give up all hope of getting anywhere. And to be honest, this is the one moment in this entire mess that I really the Mr. Ed bit. Okay, I'm lost there. That's the one moment where I'm just like, what in the hell are we doing? But
hello, I'm Mr. Ed. Wilbur!
A lot of people are lost through the whole thing, so anyway, maybe I should worry about myself on that one, huh? So as they're going along, Sweet Pea is taunted by this not Stevie Nicks. She just won't leave her alone. She won't just go to the damn show. She has to just keep messing with her. Then they bump into Salvador Dali. He's played by Joey Arias, if you're aware who he is. And his wife, once again, played by Anne. And they have a conversation with Sweet Pea, and Sweet Pea's got a big hole in her chest, and then they talk about all these different forms of art and pick on MTV, and Dolly wants to paint tits back on her, and they order a pizza, and they get a pizza with ants, but the pizza looks like a melted clock, so instead of getting to eat it, which apparently Sweet Pea's hot to do despite the ants, they hang the pizza on a thing and call it an object d'art. It's très surreal, is what it is. So eventually Sweet Pea and Zbigniew have had enough, and they sneak away and they jump in this cosmic rowboat and they end up rowing around the rings of Saturn. And then Sweet Pea figures the concert must have already started, and she gets all depressed because she's never told Piglet that she's pregnant. It's so sad.
The Vulcan Death Grip concert must have started by now.
Oh.
And I missed the first set. I wanted to hear that new song. History of Torture, Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was Piglet's favorite. That was our song. Oh, he must have forgot all about me by now. And I didn't even have a chance to tell him that I'm carrying his baby!
So they see a van, and Zbigniew is like, don't do it, but Anne jumps into the back of the van. And this is pretty much universally considered by the handful of people that have seen it to be the best moment in it, and it is damn funny. This is televangelism mocked to the extreme, and this is in the 80s when televangelism was operating at a fever pitch.
Psst, psst. Hey, beautiful. Look down here.
Oh, Zbigniew, what am I gonna do? I'm as nervous as a termite in a yo-yo.
Come on, honey, play along. If they find out who we really are, they'll tattoo us and throw us in the AIDS camp.
I don't know the words.
Hey, amiga, just read the cue cards.
Don't turn that dial. This is the station.
She's Pollyanna.
Not some cheap imitation.
We're driving all across this great big nation on a one-way road to heavenly salvation. Come on aboard the Pollyanna van. We're spreading the gospel of the righteous Maine man from Hollywood to Pakistan.
And so then she looks up and sees Not Stevie in one of the TV monitors. And Not Stevie tells Sweet Pea that she always had the power to go to the Vulcan Death Grip concert. And what does she mean by that? Well, if you're not aware, Anne Magnuson is the lead singer to Vulcan Death Grip. So yeah, she did always have the power. So bam, here we go, Vulcan Death Grip concert.
Heavy fucking metal! Sing, bitch.
So after the show's done, her other personas all surround her and torment her until eventually Satan pokes her and she pops half out of a van. She's half in and half out of a mural, and we see Piglet beating the crap out of a Charlie Manson clone, which is one of the best moments in this thing, where you get this beautiful line right here.
You stinking commie, pinko, finger-licking fudge pecker! I'll teach you to run out in front of me! Ah! You damn Canadian!
So then Satan and Piglet end up fighting over Sweet Pea. Piglet wins, Satan throws out Zbigniew because apparently Satan wants nothing to do with the devil's lettuce, and it lands in Manson's lap. And the Charlie Manson clone thinks that's like the best thing he's ever seen. He's gonna smoke it, man.
Oh, God, what the heck is this? Squeaky?
I don't know.
Hey, it's a bong. It's a bong. I think I'll keep it.
Piglet and Sweet Pea, now through their ordeal of missing each other, show each other how much they love each other as only rednecks could do, and continue on their way to the wet t-shirt contest.
Oh, show me you love me.
And then we get the little ending crawl that tells us what happened to all the characters and how their stories ended up. And that's the end of Vandemonium. And then if you own the VHS, or in my case the Betamax tape, at the very end of that you will have Made for TV, which is one of Magnuson's early pieces where she was basically, in my opinion, it's kind of half audition piece. Like she's just showing that she can play a bunch of different roles and that she's definitely capable of being a character actor in 100 different directions. And it's entertaining as well. It's definitely worth watching.
So just settle back, relax, pour yourself another cup of coffee, and join us, why don't you? We got some great topics to talk about. We're going to be discussing how to deal with the death in the family, and the growing number of holiday highway fatalities, and how to pack for a weekend. So, okay, let's go for it! And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. America, this is your...
So Vandemonium Plus is one of those shorts that has totally been forgotten. There's a ton of stuff that cable kicked out back in those days. It's completely lost. If there wasn't a tape of this, I wouldn't have heard of it. I only ended up with it because I bought a bunch of Betamax tapes and this was in there, and I was like, what the hell's this? I'd never seen this before. And lo and behold, here we are. And while it's definitely hard to understand at times, and it's not nearly as funny as people would think something that was aired as a comedic experiment should be, it's, to me, it has a certain quality to it that not a lot of shows back then had, but you don't really see it very much. The best I could compare it to is like Doctor Who, the old Doctor Who's the original show, where you know the sets are cheesy and the special effects aren't very good, but you also know that around any corner there could be anything, and so your imagination is just kind of wide open, and you're just kind of expecting whatever, and you lower your expectations as far as the effects. You know that it's not going to be the greatest special effects you've ever seen, but you open your imagination, and it just, those kinds of worlds have a certain flavor to me, and this short film has that same flavor. It has that same kind of weird, you don't know what's around the next corner. Now, I just went and told you what's around the next corner, but there's still plenty of surprises and stuff to see in there. It's only 25 minutes long or so, but it's definitely worth checking out. But I would definitely advise you to give it a watch. It's funny, it's hilarious at times, to be honest with you, and it's smart and weird. Definitely weird. And it's one of those pieces of 80s pop culture that wasn't never really pop culture. It tried to be, it wanted to be, it was there sitting next to the rest of it, but it just never quite got remembered. But we'll remember it here today. Thank you very much. If you've watched this far, don't forget that you could like and subscribe, or tell me that I suck and dislike, or any of the above, or ignore it altogether and go on to the next video. It's up to you.